As the race for a COVID-19 vaccine continues around the world, two separate trials in Australia have hit new milestones. First to Perth, where scientists at the Linear Clinical Research Laboratories are kicking off a 2-month-long hunt for healthy human volunteers to trial a test vaccine.
This is a phase 1 study. It will be recruiting healthy adult volunteers 18 to 55 years of age, and it also has a group of what we call healthy elderly volunteers 55 and above.
The Chinese-developed vaccine was produced just 1 month after the virus's genetic sequence was cracked and is designed to help the body produce antibodies to fight COVID-19 head-on.
If we're fortunate and this is one that shows safety and efficacy and is approved, that will mean that people in Western Australia have had access to this before anyone else.
Next, the CSIRO's Australian Centre for Disease Preparedness in Geelong is entering a major new phase of testing for its vaccine candidate using ferrets. In this trial, 2 groups of ferrets received an experimental COVID-19 vaccine. One group by injection, the other by nasal spray. Today, both groups have been exposed to the COVID-19 virus for the first time, so scientists can start assessing the treatment's effectiveness.
Ferrets are being used because their lungs are structurally and functionally very similar to those of humans, and they've been studied before using other respiratory infections that infect humans like flu.
These Aussie efforts are part of more than 70 other vaccines being developed around the world at breakneck speed. But just how worried should we be about science being carried out on such turbocharged timelines?
Well, to bring us up to speed on vaccines, trials and ferrets, we're catching up with Dr. Rob Grenfell, Director of the Health and Biosecurity Unit at the CSIRO. Thanks for joining us, Rob. Normally vaccines take a long time to develop, as we just saw there. Is there a risk this is all happening too fast?
So we've got a lot of experience in actually doing what we call the preclinical phase of developing vaccines, and foremost in our mind is actually the safety and quality of the production, and we are participating at the highest level of quality in that area. And in fact, one of the samples that we're actually testing, the Inovio vaccine from which is from the US, the FDA, the US regulator, has already conducted an audit on our process and given us a double thumbs up. We're not going to compromise on safety and quality in this production process, even though it's so fast.
Dr. Rob, can I ask, how does this work? If someone else around the world finds a vaccine first, obviously we would like to find it first, but if someone else does, is it as easy as them sending us the recipe?
Yeah, look, one of the challenges we've got is that these vaccines are all being developed with global cooperation. So we're actually testing one from the UK and one from the US at this stage, and we're readying ourselves to test another few in starting around about July or so later this year. Now, the trouble is the manufacturing will be occurring offshore in a lot of cases. We do have CSL here, and I know they're talking to some of the potential candidates. So yeah, the issue is whoever manufactures this or gets it through first will be the one that will actually be supplying the world. Then the thing is gearing up the other manufacturers to produce the vaccine that works so that we can all get access to it.
What if a pharmaceutical company patents it? Can they do that, Dr. Rob?
Well, look, we've been working for CEPI, which is the Coalition for Epidemic Preparedness and Innovation. It's actually an NGO, so it's supported by the Gates Foundation, Wellcome Trust and the World Economic Forum. And they've actually done patent, or at least working through on the IP, so that, in fact, it is open to the world to actually get access to those particular candidates. They've got 6 in their stable at the moment out of the 119, and in fact of theirs, 3 or 4 of them are now actually moving into phase 1 trials. So let's hope that one of those work.
I'm just thinking for our audience, can I just get some context really quickly? When we see stories like yours, you're going off to trial things on ferrets and whatever, even if that all goes well, what sort of time lag are we looking at before you're talking about a vaccine going into someone's arm?
Yeah, look, traditionally to get to the point where we are now usually takes about 2 years, and we've done that in a few months. Yes, we started the race early, we understood SARS and models there, and we were able to quickly validate those for this virus. So our studies will not finish until the end of June, so that is in fact all done and dusted with these 2 initial samples and understanding safe and how they work. From this point, we've already heard that both of those candidates have started phase 1. human trials. Now, what that means is that they're already testing just on safety, small numbers of people, just to see that those vaccines themselves are safe. They're both on established platforms, so they've got regulatory approval to do that. That's not being done in Australia. They'll have to wait till our studies are finished before they can move to phase 2. Phase 2 traditionally goes on for a protracted period of months, but they're also looking at accelerated versions of phase 2 trials and moving into phase 2 and 3. And all things going well, if they work, and if they progress through these in an effective way, we may see something towards the end of the year. That'd be very, very lucky, but certainly into the new year or early into the new year. The next challenge, as your previous question was, it's got to be manufactured to scale.
Right, OK. So that would be great news, but we should point out this coronavirus is just the latest version of coronaviruses. They've been around for a long time as a family of viruses. We've never found a vaccine before. What makes you think that we will find a vaccine for this one?
I'm an optimist, and also we have the might of scientific community globally cooperatively working on trying to find solutions. And actually, to correct your intro, there's now 119 potential candidates, and 8 of those are into preclinical trials now, and one's into phase 2 trials at the moment. I think we might find that a couple of these candidates will be successful. Again, I'm the optimist here.
Rob, we're so thankful for great minds like yourself and many of the scientists working around Australia. I'm not sure how good you are with social media, but I loved what happened yesterday. Our chief immunologist, Nobel laureate Peter Doherty, was meant to Google Dan Murphy opening hours and accidentally tweeted it out to everybody. Good to know that you guys need a drink as well occasionally during these tough times. How do you go with social media?
Well, look, I was just thinking the Prof might have got himself mixed up. Maybe he was asking Premier Dan Andrews when he was going to open when we were opening hours for Victoria. So I don't know which way he was heading.
He should have rung me. 9 till 8 are the opening hours of Dan Murphy's.
You know what? People actually responded and gave him the opening hours. It was very cute. Other people saying, "Is this a trial you're doing? Sign me up." Rob, incredible work as always. Thank you so much for your time and good luck with it all.
Thank you so much, and yeah, please stay safe out there. And above all, it's not a time to relax the social distancing at this stage.
Hear, hear.
Well, that's a fascinating thing to say because, of course, there have been some relaxation of restrictions.
We're going to talk about that later on.
We'll talk about later in the show. So that's an interesting area. Sorry, Fitz, we've got to go to break because people have got to pay us money to be here.
Well, I was just going to quickly say, Waleed, is there any chance we can use those ferrets and throw them into NRL lockdown first before the players do it?